What's going on, YouTube? This is Surf Fresh Jarrell, aka Breeze, coming to y'all live. Um, Another show, man. Another time I get to be with the fellas, talking some sports as always. Hey, we appreciate all those who gonna check this out live, and even if you catch it on the flip side, feel free to throw in some comments, like, subscribe, and hit that bell, y'all. Um, for real, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think we one of the best shows out there. I go back and I watch them after we're done, just to check us out, man. I love what everybody's bringing. I love what we're doing. Hopefully, it's being conveyed to our YouTube fans and the other platforms as well. Hopefully, you guys feel the passion that we feel the love that we feel, and the connection that all three of us got as fellas. So, just appreciative of all you guys who check it out, whether it's live or whether it's after. We got some good stuff for you today. Fabe, I throw it to you, and then we can throw it to Dante.
All right, everybody, it's your boy Big Fabe here, one third of the Deep Third Sports Podcast. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell so you guys get notified when we go live. And also, make sure you guys stay to the end of the show as we have a segment just for you guys called Deep Thought. And it's where we take your guys' questions, comments, any type of feedback, or anything like that. Put it down in chat and we'll talk about it. Or shoot, even if you're watching this after it's live, put something down in there and we may be able to give you guys our deep thought in the next episode. So, yo, DP, you there? We good, coach? Well, if you
He might
want,
be off screen.
yeah, if you
Yeah,
want, Jarrell, go ahead, man. Do your thing.
yeah, man. I gladly take it. For the fresh thought, man. I Everybody knows I'm probably gonna go with the Browns because the Browns are the Browns. But I'm gonna take it a little step in a different direction. I'm gonna go to Steelers, man. For my fresh thought, I'm like, okay, Steeler fans, like you got a young team. I'm not used to seeing this out of the Steelers. I'm used to seeing the Steelers as a Steel City, hard hat, grinding, moving, and y'all did nothing this year but yap your mouth. You got Juju Smith Schuster dancing on people's
Yep.
dancing at midfield, dancing on people's logos. It's like, all right, dude, like I I get it, but you realize that you got a football game that you got to play. You got an image that you got to uphold. And it's a 16 game regular season, and you got playoffs, and you making people hungry for you. And it's like, why would you draw that type of attention to you? Um, I love Mike Tomlin as a coach. I'm not going to put this on Mike Tomlin. I'm putting it on the players. Um, I,
All Ben. I put it on Ben.
there there are some times where I can look at coaching and be like, hey, yo, you got out coached. But Mike Tomlin didn't hike that ball over Ben Roethlisberger's head. Mike Tomlin didn't throw a couple of interceptions. Mike Tomlin didn't play receiver and the ball tipped off. I heard a lot of chatter. One of my good friends was like, fire Mike Tomlin. And I'm like, why? I mean, Mike Tomlin has been nothing but what I would say consistent. And when you look at everything and you look at the landscape of the NFL, you know, they're relevant. I guarantee the Jets would have wanted Mike Tomlin and that record that he has. I guarantee the LA Chargers would have wanted him. Now, again, if you're the LA Rams, some of those teams, I got you. But look at the teams that are in contention every year, and the Steelers are right there. So, hey, man, listen, Steel City, I don't love you, but I love you. I don't love the Steelers, but I'm going to say this, man. You got to stop talking because money ain't made in the regular season. The money is made in the playoffs. That's where you put your money down. You do some damage there, like the Ravens did to the Tennessee Titans, dance on that logo. Little disrespectful, they did it too early, but Come on, Tennessee, don't do it in the regular season. It don't mean nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It don't mean nothing. So, hey, that's my hot take. I'm just saying, fellas, I, the Pittsburgh Steelers got to figure something out because they got some cap issues, and the Ravens, y'all just need to wait before you be disrespectful when the game's over or before the game's over.
Hey man, that's crazy. Yeah, man. So it's DP. I'm back in the flesh. Uh, Jarrell, man. You spit some game on that one, bro. The Steelers should not be trying to fire Mike Tomlin. I was listening to 93.7 The Fan this week because I was like, I know they're gonna be talking out the side of their neck. They about to say some reckless stuff, and of course, I got exactly what I was looking for. People talking and calling for Mike Tomlin job as if he's not the best head coach in the game today. I can't name a coach better than him right now. There are some coaches that are up there with him, but he is the best coach. You go with the third string quarterback and you go 8-8, bruh, and you don't have a losing season. Tell me what coach would have done what he did with that team that they had last year. So yeah, you spend some game on that one.
Bill
But
Belichick had Cam, and you see what happened with that, man. Unfortunately.
well, hold up.
Hey,
I I do recall some Patriot fans on this show was like,
Yeah.
oh, they gonna do good.
I mean, I got a
Can they?
take on that. We'll get to that. I got a take.
Okay, but
hey, listen. Hey, DP, listen, you right, man. I was on that, and when we get to that part, we can gladly talk about it. The only thing I'm gonna say about it is I underestimated the little bit of time that Cam had to try to get into that offense, and it just didn't work as I thought. After watching that first game, I thought, listen, I thought this year was going to be playoffs, and then, but we'll talk about it.
all right, yeah, we could get into it. All right, so for um the first segment that we're gonna talk about, we're gonna talk about, in your opinion, what narratives need to be put to bed. So, for instance, I'll start off going by first. So, like the one narrative that I've been hearing for the last 2 years: Lamar Jackson cannot win a playoff game. He can't get it done. They need to, blow that up, and they need to find somebody else because he can't play quarterback. He's just a running back that can throw the ball a little bit. And he showed in the Tennessee game he didn't throw for a lot of yards. However, he did show that he can play the position and that he can win a playoff game. And it's still early in his career. This is only his third season in the NFL, I believe, and he's still electrifying. He's still that dude. If I was building a team right now, it would be out of uh, Lamar Jackson, um, uh, Watson, and your boy from not Cincinnati, good gracious, the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Those three quarterbacks, I believe that they can go on any team, and if you put the right offensive coordinator in front of them, they'll be able to do damage. So, in y'all opinion, what narratives need to be put to bed after this season?
Whew, man, that's good, man. For me, there's a couple ways I could go. Um, I definitely think and look at it that Aaron Rodgers was done, and
Mm.
I I hate to go there because I was gonna go somewhere else, but I mean, you basically the team basically said he was done. Now I look at it afterwards as saying, okay, maybe they got a plan, but at the end of the day, that caused chatter off of what they were doing. In the grand scheme of things, they might have been thinking, okay, Aaron Rodgers 2.0, where I got Aaron Rodgers for another 3 years, and then I got to let him go. And then I got young dude, which is what happened to Aaron Rodgers when he got drafted behind Brett Favre. So just in looking at what everybody has said, Aaron Rodgers has something to prove. I know Aaron Rodgers will downplay it and act like, this is just a regular season. It's not. We know Aaron Rodgers. We know Aaron Rodgers got a chip on his shoulder. We know how he is. And at the end of the day, he's playing at a all-time great level. Um, Now the narrative that I will subscribe to is that he's underrated in the terms of the best quarterbacks ever. Now we think about it and we say, okay, Aaron Rodgers is pretty good. Aaron Rodgers has had a career minus Super Bowl championships that would mirror Tom Brady in his prime, period. Because to me, Aaron Rodgers never had an opportunity to be a game manager because he had such a great defense. Aaron Rodgers always had to be a gunslinger,
Mm-hmm.
period. So my narrative is that needs to be put to bed is that Aaron Rodgers is washed up because Aaron Rodgers got a good couple years in him, and he's got command of that offense. He's got command of that locker room. Him and the head coach is vibing. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he got rid of Danica Patrick. That might have got him back on track. Nugget, go ahead, Fade. Leave
So,
them girls alone. Leave them girls.
yeah. So my narrative, I'm gonna take a little different approach with this narrative that everybody talks about. It's the Brady or Belichick.
Ooh,
I'm tired of this narrative.
Let's go, Fade. Let's go. I want to hear this. Let's go, baby.
Okay, to me, change the narrative. Why can't we accept now and see that you just happen to have two great people. I know I can't say athletes. Belichick's not an athlete, but you get what I'm saying. Two great people in their respective positions just happen to be together at the same time. Why I say that? You got Belichick, who is a defensive guru and can do all of that stuff, so he had that on lock, and he happened to luck up and get Brady, one of the best quarterbacks, to do it. And I say that because you see what happens. Now I'm looking at Brady's stats. Okay, his completion percentage was up, yards were up, TDs were up, his interceptions were up. But to me, you had Brady have better weapons, obviously, than he did last year. To me, the way I feel is that Brady can't do it necessarily. He can still do it. He can't do it like last year. He can't do it on his own like he used to do it because you had Gronk, who was all beat up and all of that, and then he didn't have any receivers. Because what, in the one Super Bowl, last one they won, he had Gronk had that one good catch. What, in the fourth quarter,
yeah.
like that, and that was it. So to me, I feel the debate should just be, or it should just be, that each one of them were great within what their responsibilities were, not one without the other. Because I think Brady, as you see, Belichick, I don't know if he understood how lucky he was to be able to wheel and deal with players like he did because he had such a great quarterback. That allowed him to do things that other teams wish they could do with
yo,
their cap and
hey,
all of that stuff.
yo, you're telling truth, Dante. I know you got something to come back, but the only thing that one of the things I'm gonna say is we also got to look at Bill Belichick and say Brady wouldn't be Brady without him for the simple fact of how many coaches are going to put their job on the line for a 6th-round pick? How many guys are going to hand the keys over to your franchise on a 6th-round pick? Do we see what our league is today? Do we see? Yeah, we can turn it over to a 4th-round pick, right?
Mm.
We can turn it over to a Russell Wilson, but a 6th round pick, that doesn't happen. And you had a dude that didn't care. All he cared about is finding a guy that can do what he needed him to do. So I think they are codependent. And I'm not saying that Tom Brady isn't having a great year, but if you gave Bill Belichick the weapons that Tom Brady has right now, they are an undefeated team, just like when he had Randy Moss.
Right. I was about to say, yep.
Their defense would be playing better, and you'd be talking about a Super Bowl favorite to beat Kansas City. Now, again, I'm not saying it's all Belichick, but I'm telling you, you give the Bucks weapons to Bill Belichick, and the way Bill can match up defenses, it to me, it's the defense that really is going to hurt the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not the offense. Because if Tom Brady can't get the ball, he can't do Tom Brady things. If Tom Brady is pressing, just like Peyton Manning used to have to press, it's going to be to Peyton Manning where he's
Mm-hmm.
going to lose. But at the end of the day, Bill Belichick would have got that defense on point.
So listen, man. At the end of the day, it shows you exactly who needed who. Belichick, when he first became a head coach, when he coaching at Cincinnati, what did he do? Nothing. I think they went to the playoffs one time. Was it Belichick?
What, when he
I
was
believe
with
it,
another team, or you
when
talking
he
about
was with
before
the
Brady?
Browns. When he was with the Browns,
I
I
think
want
it
to
was
say it was
one
Belichick.
time.
I think it was Belichick, and they got murdered by the Steelers or something. But I mean, he hasn't done anything. So then he even when he went to the Patriots the first year, he didn't do nothing really either. Um, but once Tom came in, that's when stuff started to rise, like our stocks. Shout out to Chris, like our stocks, and they start shooting off, and then boom, and it was like, wow. I will say that I do believe that Belichick did help him, but I feel like sometimes you can help people get to a certain level, and you didn't even know they had. You thought they would be like, okay, yeah, this would be a person that can be here for a couple years, and he'll kind of hold the gap, and then we'll get somebody else. I don't think Belichick knew from the jump what he had.
No.
And I think he was just like, oh, okay, this dude, he's solid, he's smart. He can play a couple years. We'll get somebody next couple draft. And then for it to bloom the way it did and to blow up the way it did, I don't think he expected that.
But
And
who won the
it,
first couple Super Bowls? The defense did.
The defense.
the defense did, but at the same time, he played good enough that they didn't lose, right? Like he wasn't
Hey,
out there.
bruh. Now
But
you
first off,
know.
well,
Now
when they
you
play,
know
hold on. I would say this: they when they played the Raiders, they shouldn't have won that because that call was nonsense.
they shouldn't have beat them. They shouldn't have beat the Rams. You you took a competent quarterback and allowed him to grow into who Tom Brady is today. Tom Brady was not this Tom Brady slinging that thing all over the place.
No,
Tom Brady was making timely passes, managing the game in a smart way, but Bill Belichick was building him. And that's why I think they're codependent. Because if you take Bill Belichick away, not everybody's going to be like, hey, yo, I'm going to nurture this dude and I'm going to see potential. Bill Belichick saw potential in guys that other teams didn't want. Think about it. Even just a couple years ago, Kyle Van Noy. Kyle Van Noy did nothing this year when he left New England, but New England was able to get him to play at a high level.
but I
That's
think
just
I
how
think
they
that
run.
I believe that he got them to play at a high level because he knew the personnel and he put them in the right positions. That's where a lot of coaches make a mistake. However, and then we go back to what I think it was Fave that said that Cam, he felt like Cam didn't get a chance to learn and all that stuff because of the time. Now they knew that they should have made it simpler, or not even simpler, but they should have made a playbook designed specifically for him. They know that because that's what they've been doing all these years. They've been putting people, pulling people off the defense side of the ball, putting them in there, plugging this person in and that and all that stuff. So they know how to put people in the right position to be successful. And then some coaches don't know how to do that, and that's why when they do leave and they go, they don't do nothing because they don't know how to put them or plug them into their offense or their defense so that they can be successful. But this is why I say that I think that he needed Tom Moore because if you look at it, all the years he has been to the point that he has not done anything in the draft, not getting anything because he feels like, you know what, I can do this. Like we're winning because of me. Like he has that mindset or that arrogance of like I run this thing. It's the reason why we're winning is because of me. And so you can see that through all of like the last couple, like all the years that Tom Brady's been there. I'm not gonna get this person. I'm not gonna get this person because I can help us do that. And so now you see he did the same thing that he always done. And what was the only difference? Tom Brady not being there. And so
I,
that's why I'm like
Well, that's the
that's
codependency though. That leads to me like yeah, that codependent. They together.
nah,
hey, hey,
nah.
listen. Next year, if the same thing happens next year, I'm going to tell you I got you. For New England to be missing five starters, big money players, and especially on the defensive end, I gotta give Belichick another year to show me what he can do. Because think about it now. Think about it. If Cam does not fumble against the Buffalo Bills when he's going down to score, they might be in the playoffs. They might be in the playoffs, and they
And
got
who
something to play for.
and who would they have beaten? Nobody.
Hey, it's not about who would they have beaten. It's the fact that he
Are
could
you
have said, "Hey, I got Cam Newton 2 weeks.
are you
Two, hold on. Listen. The Browns. If the Browns would have lost last week, I would have said it's still a successful season for the Browns. If the
that
Patriots would have got to the playoffs missing five starters on defense, and then on top of that, you took Cam Newton on 2 weeks before the season in the National Football League, 2 weeks before the season, and you
that's
make the
that
playoffs?
that's that arrogance I'm talking about, and that's why
Nah,
they didn't make the
that,
playoff. Because he's
that's
arrogant.
coaching. That's no,
He's
because
arrogant.
he got a chance to see Jared Stidham and was like, I can't win with him. I can't win with him.
That's arrogance. He thought he could do the same thing. I you know what? You come to the Patriots, everybody wants our quarterbacks because you know why? They're in my system. You got this dude, oh, hey, first round pick, come on here. Come get my quarterback. Yeah. He thought he could do the same thing with that dude, and he realized, oh snap,
It
my
ain't Jimmy
stuff there.
G. I think he would have
All
did it with Jimmy G.
probably,
Oh yeah.
probably.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh
then
yeah.
again, looking at Jimmy G now, what is Jimmy G can't stay on the he Jimmy G can't stay on the field to save his life.
True.
So he probably would have been in the same boat.
Nah,
It,
nah.
it,
Bella,
listen,
Belichick would
Bel-
have done it
Belichick.
differently.
Oh, you good? Belichick. He was in Outcast video with Rose. Don't you really think yo don't stink? Because roses really smell like boo boo. That's what Belichick was at because he think his stuff don't stink, but guess what? It stink just like everybody else stuff. And he think he better and he think he's smarter than everybody else. And he saw this year, I better go out and spend some money because I don't got Tom Brady here and I need to get somebody in here better. But anyways,
So
if you got,
so I'm gonna go. So before you go on, I'm gonna go off for this. Cam Newton missed, if I'm not mistaken, one one game because of COVID or 2 games because of it. I
I
think he
I
think
missed
don't.
two.
one.
I two. I okay. I thought it was one.
Yeah, you. It might have been one. It might have been one.
I
Yeah,
forget.
Kansas City. Kansas City. He missed.
He
He
didn't want
missed
to play that
Kansas
game
City.
anyways.
So when you look at it, out of the losses that they had, 35-30 against Seattle, that could have changed. 18-12 against Denver, that could have changed. Buffalo the first time, 24-21. Uh, Houston, 27-20, and then what was the other game that they lost? Well, I guess Miami was a whooping. They beat Miami. I mean, Miami beat them. But you take a look at those games, and the ball falls the other way. Again, we talking about if, ands, and buts. But I I would say that they were competitive still, even with missing those starters on defense. Although I'm with you, I thought they could have used Cam Newton better. I was looking at some games like, what is Josh McDaniels doing? Because the first game of the season, you used Cam perfectly, and then all of a sudden, maybe Josh McDaniels' pride got in the way and said, no, 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 I'm going to make him a drop back quarterback so y'all can see that I can do whatever. Maybe it was Bill Belichick that said, hey, I'm going to make him a drop back quarterback. Either way, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were codependent with their success in New England.
Well, this is what I will say about Cam Newton. I like Cam Newton. I think he's a good quarterback. But this year, guess what? I think he had in 15 games. I think he threw 12 touchdowns and 8 picks.
He
Yeah,
stunk it up.
yeah. And that goes to the OC. Like you have to have a better game plan. You have to put your guys in positions to be successful. You and me both, Jarrell. We have been coaching for a long time, and you know that there are a lot of coaches out there that don't care who you got on the team. Listen, Faye, you even know it too. We're gonna run the veer, and we're gonna run the veer. And guess what? When that don't work, we're gonna run the veer. Why? Because you think that your play calling, you think that you're better and you're smarter than whatever else, whoever else you're playing against, and so that you think that your willpower and what you believe is going to get it done. And guess what? Bill Belichick, it did not get it done. So guess what? You better go spend some money and you better go pay some people if you want to be back on top. Because if you do the same things you did this year in this offseason, in this draft, guess what? You're going to be in the same position that you're in right now, looking in the playoffs like, dang, Tom Brady about to win another ring. Huh. Let's go. All right. So so the next one, man, this one is, oh my gosh. So many people commenting, so many people talking reckless, some people talking glorious about it. So James Harden, if you guys don't know, just got traded in a mega deal. He got traded to Brooklyn Nets. That don't even sound right. The Brooklyn Nets. He doesn't own any more of those. Jay-Z does not own the company anymore or the team. They got his butt out of there. But yeah, so he got traded. So what are your guys' thoughts? Did Houston win? Did Houston lose? Because I know a couple years ago they had CP3 that came in and they had to do all of this trading and cost them a lot of draft picks. And then they got Russell Westbrook there too and all that stuff. So what are y'all thoughts? Who's the winner in this all?
So, so they won and lost. They won and lost. One reason they won is because they got rid of cancer. And I, I
You talking about
James
Houston?
Harden, James Harden lost a lot of respect from me, as far as how he went about it. Um, if you just remember when Anthony Davis was going through basically the same thing, He basically played until it got close, and they were like, "Well, we're not going to get him hurt, so we're going to sit him on the bench." Um, Now, looking at how Harden went about it, listen, I'm not mad at you for wanting out. I'm not mad at you for anything, but you also got to remember this is a culture that you created. This is something that you took on, and now you're mad and you're disrespecting your teammates. So on your way out, you talking about we just not good enough. Well, when you're the focal point and you're not averaging 30 points a game, which is what you were doing, what do you think the team's going to be? Because they built the team around a 30 point a night score. So James Harden lost a lot of respect. We were going to talk about this a couple weeks ago, or I was going to talk about it a couple weeks ago. The thing that struck me is there was an article that was placed out where some I don't know if it was like coaches or trainers um, last year with Russell Westbrook was kind of telling about what all was going on, where he was late. There was a time when they were in the bubble, I believe it was, they were in the playoffs, or maybe it was a regular season game, and they're trying to no, two stories. One was they were doing film room, and James Harden wasn't late, and Russell Westbrook's like, man, just go ahead. It's like, well, James, just go ahead, start it. And then another one, James Harden wasn't even on the plane. The plane had to wait for him to get there so they could make it to another city. So if James Harden is doing this, and I'm not saying that, veterans or superstars don't get that preference, but you balling out, right? Maybe you're taking that Dennis Rodman thought process, but your whole team got to be on that. So while I sit here and look and say, man, what could Houston have been if X, Y, and Z? Russell Westbrook don't play that. Russell Westbrook comes and gives you 110 every night. He don't take games off. He don't do any of that. So I can see how their relationship got a little soured with it. Um, but man, I lost a lot of respect for who James Harden was and the way that he conducted business. Because I thought, he plays every night. I'm not going to say he doesn't, but I thought he was just that dude. I thought he came to work every day, and I just thought, they came up short. But then to hear this about him, and then you cry your way out to get to a super team, come on, man. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Quick question. So, uh, do the Lakers need to be worried?
I would say no, because I need to see how Kyrie, KD, and James Harden are gonna all play together. Because in my head, your primary ball handler would be Kyrie, and Kyrie is ball dominant. James Harden is ball dominant. KD is not ball dominant, but Russell Westbrook, I mean not Russell Westbrook, James Harden wants the last shot. James Harden wants to hit the big shot, but that's KD. And Kyrie already got that pedigree because he won a chip making the big shot. So how they gel is going to be interesting to me. Um, so I'm not sure if this is going to be their year or next year, but I would say no. The Lakers, obviously, as the season progresses, may have some needs, and I think them signing Kyle Kuzma. I don't know if y'all knew that
Mm-hmm.
they signed him to a bigger deal. I said it from when they signed him. I think that's only for the fact of being able to trade him. And the reason I say that is because the NBA, for y'all who don't know, it's not like the NFL where you can just trade whatever. You got to try to match up salaries in the NBA, which is why a lot of teams will take back an expiring contract, because that year that they're selling them, it helps out that evening of the salaries. But I'm just saying the the Lakers are the Lakers, man, and they got to worry about themselves. I think they got enough firepower. I just want to see how they gel. Um, don't get it twisted. I think they got three of the top, I'd probably say 10 players in the NBA, and that's that's scary.
Babe, what are your thoughts?
I agree that that could be scary. For me, and maybe because he's friends with Katie, so it might be different, but Kyrie didn't want to play second fiddle to LeBron.
Yep.
Kyrie got all mad when LeBron came back to town and didn't want to do that. But what was you doing before LeBron got there? Getting first
Nothing.
picks.
Garbage.
But then when the man come, you don't want to listen, and then you go to Boston, you wreck that team. They was good before you, and now you it's hard. It's hard. Now you saying now you understand what LeBron was trying to put upon you and stuff like that. So if they gel, they could be very very dangerous. Cause I don't see like to your point of KD not being ball dominant. Like actually, here's a question. Here's a thought though. So KD's not ball dominant. He can get the ball anywhere from the court, shoot it, and make it. Damn there. So why leave Russell Westbrook? Why leave that Russell Westbrook, who's ball dominant, and now you're with two players that are ball dominant. And KD had spot up shooters like Steph and all of them, but Steph and everybody deferred to KD anyway, so there was no ego there for them. But now you're
Yep.
with two ball dominant players, and you didn't like the one ball dominant player that you played with earlier in your career. So how he meshes all that, and I get KD's kind of the leader here. I guess you could say that it's his team. I feel I was watching Skip and Shannon, and I like one point, I think it was Shannon that brought it up, that he felt like it was an insurance policy for the Nets in case whatever's going on with Kyrie, if he don't come back, at least now you got Harden. So I like that better, a KD Harden. I actually
Yeah,
like that better than I do all three of them.
I agree.
Is how I feel. And
I agree.
I think it's crazy. I don't know. Like to me, it would be more exciting in the NFL if they could do this. Like, so you got a player in the same town in Houston and Texans quarterback.
Oh,
Shoot, Watson, who wants out. But it's like the NFL don't work. Like you can want out all you want. It ain't like they're gonna trade you. But in the NBA, you can say I want out in either a month or however you out of there. And dang, they're pretty much going to the team that you want to go to. Like to me,
yeah,
it does make it exciting a little bit, that kind of interaction. So I wish we could see that in the NFL because it would be cool to see some players kind of play with each other like that. But anyway, I digress. But so yeah, I'm interested to see how Katie does. I don't know, man. Like I get Katie's good. Just when that whole like him going to the Golden State Warriors and then ending it the way that it did, him fighting with old boy and being called a B and all of that, it's like I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of respect for KD, man. I really
yeah.
don't.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, listen, he's from near where I grew up, so he's a homer. Um, I don't like the way that he's coming off now. I feel like it's fake. Um, but I'm a pose this. So James Harden got where he wanted to get, and I don't know if y'all know the story that the owner of the Rockets was going to deal him to the Philadelphia 76ers, but the Philadelphia Sixers hired their former GM, and he didn't want to deal with them. So they could have got Ben Simmons back in a deal, but the owner of the Rockets didn't want to deal with his former GM.
Yeah, I heard
Crazy.
that. I heard that they didn't want to give up Ben Simmons. Um, but I that's why I posed the question. Who was the bigger, like who won and who lost? With the Rockets, I felt like they definitely won because they got back everything that they kind of lost. Um, but the 76ers, man, they missed a opportunity because that's basically what they needed.
Woo-hoo,
They
yes.
needed somebody like that. So they should have gave up any and everything that they could. Only person that they shouldn't have gave up was your boy, the power forward.
Embiid.
Yeah, Embiid. That's the only
Yep.
person that everybody else you can be touched. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. I think that they can make it happen. I think that the Lakers should be concerned. I know I saw LeBron basically said, "Hey, I don't care where he go," and I love that. I love that. Like, who cares? They gonna kind of, if they gotta see me, they gotta see me. But I think that with that talent, because you're looking at basically three Hall of Fame players on one team. And I mean, the only downside is they all play basically one, two, and three, so they're not a four or five. Even though KD could probably play a little bit of the four, um, however, they gonna be something to reckon with. And what they're in the East, right? In the
Yep.
East, it's not that strong. We've seen what came out of the East last year. You know, and they're, in my opinion, just on paper, they are already better than the Miami Heat. Um,
They're the best
but
team on paper. They are the best
It's
team in the East outside
egos.
of if the Celtics continue to grow, because the Celtics got something brewing and they got the chemistry because all those dudes have been there together. That's the only thing that has set them apart. But other on paper, the Nets is the best team.
Yeah.
The Nets might be the best team in the NBA because starters play starters, and you can get legitimately 30, 30, and 30 out of all three of them easily.
yeah,
That
Yeah.
that's nine
And
that's 90 points.
a
And all
night.
you do is you need a couple of guys to make up for that. And that's just saying 30. We know KD can go for 40 if he need to.
yeah.
And
So
it's just checking the
yeah,
egos to me. It's all egos. So like you put um LeBron, Wade, and Bosch. Like I mean, Bosch wasn't the superstar. Like you had Wade and LeBron, but you had Wade who won championships and did all of that stuff. Check his ego for
Yeah.
LeBron, even though LeBron at that point wasn't ready yet. But Wade checked his ego. And then you had the
no,
Celtics back in the day. People checked their ego to go win the ship. So if KD can get them two to check their ego and say, let's go get this ring, yeah.
Legit.
got you. So, but yeah, man. So that's basically what it is, man. So yeah, I think it's gonna be very interesting to see what's gonna happen. The good thing about basketball is it's a long season, and they play a lot of games, so they have more than enough time to get it right before the playoffs. But like you said, Fabe, they're gonna have to check their egos at the door. They
Yep.
all gonna have to be on one on page. And I mean, if I was on that team, I'd be like, listen, at the end of the day, it's championship or bust. Period. And
Yep.
that's where their mindset should be. So, but yeah. So with that being said, we got one more thing that we got to discuss, man. So, let me go ahead and look at this real quick. So with the playoffs being started, what, tomorrow? So you have
Yep.
the Saints and the Bucks. Fabe, who do you have?
Bucks.
Jarrell, who you have?
Bucks.
And you already know who I'm going with, the Bucks. All right. Then the later game, the 4:35 game, you have the Packers and the Rams. Who you got, Fabe? Oh, your old squad, huh?
Yeah.
Who you got, Jarrell?
Reluctantly, I'm going with Green Bay.
Mm.
I'm going with Green Bay too. I think that I don't think that Golf is going to be able to keep up with Aaron Rodgers, even though that defense is on point. They better stop Donald because if not, that's the only way they're gonna win the game.
True.
Jarrell. So we got the 305 game. My brother team, the Chiefs and the Browns. Who you got?
Ah,
Chiefs 21st against the run. I'm looking at it right now. Oh boy.
upset
Oh
special.
boy.
Upset special. No,
What?
I'm going with Kansas City Chiefs. Patty Mahomes ain't about to let that happen.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
who you who you got, Fade?
Chiefs. Chiefs for
The
sure.
Chiefs. Ah,
Might be a shootout.
just because I don't want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I'm going with
Baker?
the Browns. I'm
Baker?
going with the Browns.
Hey,
The
they
Browns.
need to trade Odell. They showed they don't need him.
Uh, hey, listen. I think if Chubb he played like he's been playing the last couple weeks, and like you said, the Chiefs defense they're not that good. Their offense is the team. So I think if they could they could put a nail in the coffin with the running game.
With
All right.
name of the game, keep Holmes on the bench where he can't do nothing. Keep him on
Is
the
it
Yep.
bench. That's it. Keep him on the bench.
all right? So the 8:15 game. So we have the Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. Who you got, Jarrell?
I ain't gonna lie, kind of excited about that one.
Baltimore City.
I'm actually kind of excited about
Baltimore
that one.
City.
Boop,
Josh,
boop, boop. Be more.
Josh Allen is kind of that dude. He's kind of that
Yeah.
dude.
So who you got, Fade?
Dang, my heart wants Lamar. My heart really wants Lamar. My head kind of says Buffalo. That's what my
I
head
feel
says.
you.
But
Baltimore
I
City.
want
Hold up.
Lamar though. I ain't even gonna deny it. I want Lamar, but I'm kind of thinking
You,
Buffalo.
hey, listen, man. You can't be picking both teams. Who you got?
I got Buffalo. But my heart wants Lamar though.
So what? They need to trade for Lamar. Uh, so this game here, I'm really excited to see. Um, man, unfortunately, so this is what's very interesting. So you have what's his name? The receiver, Jarrell,
Stephon Diggs.
and he from where?
Baltimore City.
So that boy is about to be playing against probably his a team that he always watched and he probably rooted for and he even probably loved at the time. And they're going to be playing. I like the Bills. I love their swag right now. I know Lamar is doing his thing, but just looking at how he played last week, and I did say that I think he got over the hump. I just don't think that he gets over this team because this team is not just good on offense, but they're good on defense as well. And I don't think that the Ravens defense is that good. So I got the Bills, man. I think they're gonna come in and they're gonna do work.
Hey, bro, you're gonna be surprised. The Ravens defense is real, except for against Kansas City.
All right, Fave, on you, man.
All right, everybody. This is the
Yeah.
last segment of the show, Deep Thought, where we take your guys' questions, comments, any feedback, or anything like that. So you guys go ahead and throw them in chat, any questions or comments, and we'll give you guys our deep thought. So while we have that, while we wait for people to put in anything in, here's a question for you guys. So as you said, Dante, Chiefs defense isn't that good. Do you think Patrick Mahomes could be the next Aaron Rodgers, i.e., not really having a good defense, so always having to be prolific to win games? or win championships, I should say? Or do you think do you or I guess I should say, is Patrick Mahomes good enough to overcome that? A defense that isn't always good, is he great enough to overcome the bad defense?
Yeah, man. I think that he's definitely can overcome. I think that this guy here, man, that's why they pay him the big dollars because they know what they have in the room. I think that he can overcome the defense not being great. But what I think is going to happen is I think they're going to start shoring up the defense so that they don't have to rely on him as much or whatever. But I think that yeah, I definitely think that he can be. And to be honest, and I'm gonna put it out there, he's better than Aaron Rodgers.
Mm.
I agree. I agree. Fade to add, well, not add, but from my point of view, my answer is no. I
Mm.
think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have to hit on a lot of defensive guys in the draft, because I'm not saying Mahomes can't be Mahomes, but if you lose Tyreek, you lose Hardman, you lose Hilaire, you lose Sammy Watkins. You got to replace guys, and so you're gonna have to do, in a sense, what the Patriots were doing when they were hitting on draft picks, what Seattle was doing when they found Richard Sherman in the sixth round, where you're hitting on these guys, and they're giving you a good 3 years, four
Mm.
years, and then moving on, because we already saw what happened when Patrick Mahomes didn't have a good defense. Now, he almost overcame it against the Patriots, but the defense was the defense and jumped off sides, and that's history. Last year, the defense started playing well at the right time. So
Yep.
I'm really interested to see this game, to see if the defense picks it up. Because again, they already know what it takes to get there, right? They already know what it is and where it counts at. So all I got to say is, I'm not saying that it's going to be a big old dynasty. I'm just saying there's going to come a time where his defense is going to have to help lead him, and people are going to understand that Brady effect, where they put money in that defensive side and made it work offensively because they knew Tom Brady could get it done.
Yeah. You know what? I like, to your point, to the dynasty effect. I think not at a Mahomes' own doing, in essence, like he won't play good, but I think Mahomes will have a harder time at a dynasty, because when you think about it, during Brady's tenure, it was Brady, and at least in the AFC, it was Brady and Peyton, and that was kind of it. You had run of the mill. Okay, you got Mahomes had to overcome Brady to take that mantle. Okay, I'm the guy. But now Mahomes isn't going to have that long run, because now you got Allen coming up, Lamar coming up, Deshaun can do his thing, and so you got a lot of guys who can compete just at the quarterback level, and instead of what Brady kind of had to go through. So Brady was kind of lucky that he didn't have to go up. He only had to overcome pretty much Peyton Manning all the time. Where
Yeah,
Mahomes has got to fight. I got to fight Allen. I could see Allen. I could see Lamar. I could see Deshaun. Whoever. So I think that's interesting, to that dynasty point.
But you know what though? I think that all of them though, like it's kind of uh number one, and then you have two A, two B, two C. I think he's just like right now because you look at him, he's doing stuff that nobody else can do. Lamar can run, but he doesn't have the arm like Patrick Mahomes. Even Josh, he can throw the ball far, but he can't do the stuff that Mahomes can do. So I think that yeah, he's always going to be a step above, I believe, until maybe God forbid if something happened to him. But I think he's always going to be a step above them.
next year, bro. Next year, I think it's going to come down to where he's even with a lot of the guys. And I don't say that because of his ability. I, I say that because Patrick Mahomes was able to be Patrick Mahomes, where other teams used to make people into what they wanted. The Chiefs let Patty be Patty. And I think you're going to see a lot of other teams say, hey, you go be you, be the best version of you. And I think you're going to start seeing it.
I agree with that. I agree with that because they're seeing that it's exciting to me. It makes the league a lot more exciting now with a lot of these quarterbacks because it isn't the you gotta be the old adage. You gotta be 6'6", 235, drop back, slinging it 80 yards. Nah, you can be 6'1" and still get it.
Hey, be,
Exactly.
before we run off here, I got to say this. You know, it's crazy to think. You look at the NFC and you look at the teams. The youngest dude, which is Jared Goff, is 26 years old on the NFC side. Everybody else is 30 or above, right? So then you go to the AFC. The oldest person is 25 years old. That's the starting quarterback. 25. Crazy.
A new
That
change
blew
is
my
coming.
mind.
A new change is coming.
That blew my mind. That blew my mind.
Hey, Faye, did you get any questions yet?
Nah, no questions, man.
All right, so let me ask you guys this: the Steelers, do they need to get rid of Ben?
Nope.
Big Ben, does he need to be
Nope.
gone?
Not
Nope.
gone, but heir
You,
apparent.
my opinion, and I don't like them, but they just need to have their defense intact. And if their defense with Ben can't get it done, I'll say get rid of him because Ben with that defense looked real good. And I know what it's like when you turn the ball over and you like my defense got me, and you turn the ball over and you're like, uh, I mean, Peyton Manning is the key. Peyton Manning tried not to make so many mistakes, which made him make mistakes. Tom Brady played free.
True.
Uh, Russell Wilson, when they had that defense, could play free. That is what you need is to be able. Patrick Mahomes last year could play free. I'm gonna do my thing the way I need to do my thing, and I don't have to press because if I make a mistake, I know that we can come back. Period. So no, I want to I want to see Ben with his team intact get it.
I like it. I like it.
Okay, okay. Yeah, for me, yeah, I think it's time for him to go, bro. Um, he looking at him in the first half of the season, and you know how it go. Like the first half of the season, you're not nicked up, you're not banged up, you can move around, you can throw. But then as the season went on, he just looked like a rock in the ocean, bro. He was just sinking, couldn't move. He was just having problems. And I think it's just time for him to basically just kind of save his legacy. Just say, hey man, hey, we did it. You know, we made it here, and just get out while you can. But at the same time, they don't have a really good spot to pick up a quarterback in the draft. So that's where you kind of like, But if I was Ben, it's tough because they did have a good season on paper, but yeah. So I get what you guys are saying. No more. I get
But
what you guys are saying that he should still be there because they did have a good season, but I just think that his time is near.
bruh, that's why I say one more year. You got a lot of dudes coming out in the draft this year. You can grab you one of those and you train him to be his backup because if if you gonna get rid of him, you got to fire Tomlin. If you gonna get rid of him this year, you got to fire Tomlin
What?
because the Steeler fan base next year if Mike Tomlin with a rookie quarterback that he's got to throw in there, and they go 7-9, they go 6-10, they're gonna say fire Mike Tomlin, and Mike Tomlin gonna be gone. So you might as well do it now. If you're gonna get rid of Ben, you you gotta let Tomlin go.
What?
If you can allow Tomlin to get a guy in there that's competent, that can then next year know the offense and run it, I got you. He can groom them, I got you. Don't leave him naked with a rookie quarterback to lead the Steelers. We're talking about the Steelers. We're not talking about any other. We're talking about that rabid fan base that they got Steeler bars all over the country. They will not accept mediocrity even with a rookie. You you just saw the LA Chargers fire their coach with a rookie quarterback in which I don't know what they thought they were going to win,
Good point.
but you just saw them fire their coach
But
with a
okay,
rookie
so
quarterback,
but
and they were
but
in majority of the games.
this is the difference between Lynn and Tomlin. Tomlin has not had a losing record since he's been a head coach. This guy here has. He was what I think like 33 and something or whatever, but
He'll
he
have
had
one with a
losing
rookie
season.
quarterback.
What's that?
He'll have one with a rookie quarterback.
He didn't last year with a rookie quarterback.
No, no, because old dude that got clocked on the head wasn't a rookie, and they brought the other
Oh,
guy off.
Mason Rudolph. Yeah, he
Yeah,
wasn't. He wasn't.
they
Yeah, okay.
they
He was 2 years in.
they brought the Duck Hodges in off the street, but that was for a couple games, and you saw what happened when he came back to reality. But just think about it. Think about where Joe Burrow was, and as good as Joe Burrow was, his team was garbage.
But he looked good though. He looked good. His team garbage, but he looked good.
But that's the first overall
But
pick that looked fairly decent. But I don't know if you go to the Steelers as a
hold up.
rookie.
Didn't Ben win a Super Bowl his rookie year?
But he had an amazing defense.
So
and
so
and
so
after
there
Tommy Maddox got hurt.
Oh,
so
yep,
there
yep.
so therefore you could draft a rookie if your defense is on point and you can have him manage the game just like you guys are saying Tom Brady did his first couple Super Bowl. All he did was
Bruh,
manage the game.
bruh, that ain't the game right now. They're in the AFC and they got to play Patrick Mahomes. You got to put
Yeah,
money.
you got to put
You
30. You got to be ready to put up 30.
you got Cleveland and Baltimore who are getting ready to play this weekend in the Final Four. That
Right.
money. You ain't got no time to be slacking because you're gonna fall behind those two teams, and who knows if they're gonna have 7 playoff teams next year.
That's true.
'Cause
That's
I
true.
mean, and even with Ben, I got the Ravens 1, I got the Browns number 2 next year, and then I got the Steelers number 3.
Dang.
Off rip.
All right, last
Well,
quick question. Fire round, fire question. What do you guys
Got
think about Kyler Murray?
love him.
love
Love
them,
him.
love them,
My dad was just asking me about him when we were talking about quarterbacks. Love him. I
love
think the
them.
boy's gonna be on point. I think they just got to get a little bit better on both sides of the ball, but he gonna be something to reckon with. I think if he doesn't get hurt, they probably in the
They go.
playoffs.
Yep, yep.
So
Same.
Breakout year next year. Breakout.
Agreed. All right, guys. Any final thoughts?
Now, man, appreciate y'all jumping on, man. Appreciate y'all giving this talk, and we appreciate y'all watching, man. Love y'all.
Tampa Bay going to the Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Yeah.
Shut it off, babe. Shut it
Oh
off.
my goodness. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in for this week of the Deep Third Sports
Yes.
Podcast. We will catch you guys all next week.
Let's